What's good, everybody? Mr. J here. Thanks for tuning in. And in today's episode, I'm going to be doing a quick unboxing and review of the newest book to the Masters of Anatomy collection. Now, I ordered this way back in September, October. I'm not really sure. It was a really long time ago, and I'm really excited to be getting into this package and finally getting my hands on this book.
For anyone who's unfamiliar with the Masters of Anatomy, they started out as a Kickstarter book collection focused on anatomy and character design for artists. To date, they've been very radically funded and very successful, raising close to $1 million. What really sets them apart from other reference material books out there is that they have something that truly any artist can really appreciate. From beginning to finish, the book has no words. None.
Words are just, sometimes they just get in the way, especially when it comes to learning the complexities of human anatomy, especially when trying to learn it from an artist's perspective. Removing them allows for an unprecedented immersion and really paves way for what we're there for anyway. Art. It's 100% subjective. What one person feels and interprets when they see a beautiful painting is not going to be equate to what the next person sees. So, being that it's 100% subjective, why do all of our reference materials want to fill pages with words and try and make art completely black and white when we all know it's very colorful?
Masters of Anatomy embodied this concept into its first book, compiling the works of over 130 industry-leading artists such as Adam Hughes, Kim Jong-gi, J. Scott Campbell, just to name a few. They brought them all collectively together with the idea that each and every single one of them would draw the human figure from 6 different angles in their own style. The result was a fantastic collection that any artist could open up and reference or gain inspiration however they saw fit. Once again, without the distraction of words dictating what you absorb from the page, what you take away is completely up to you. I find it to be a fantastic reference book in that I can really just open it up and take away whatever I need to take away from it, whether it be inspiration or really learning from the different styles curated within. It's a very unique perspective on a reference book. And off of their book 1 success, they went straight into book 2, which focuses on character design, and from there, book 3, anatomy and action, and now the newest edition, book 4, female action poses. Right off the bat, one thing that I'm really liking when viewing this is that there's the inclusion of the rough work. It's not just the final images. So often, reference materials, we get a bunch of final images and we don't really see the process that goes into creating those final images. It's very hard to learn from final images. Pretty much the only thing that presents itself for you to do with final is to replicate them. The process involved allows for a different type of immersion where you can start to see the steps taken. And upon further examination, what's really nice is that for every single final image that you see here, there's also the inclusion of the roughs. Alright, so after my first impressions going hands-on with the book, I have to say that I'm very satisfied with the purchase. Like I said, I'm happy to see the inclusion of roughs along with the final images of the works. I also like that the focus is purely on action poses. This can be a great tool when trying to envision that perfect dynamic pose for a frame. Sometimes, if you're struggling to get something right, all it takes is to open up a book that inspires you and flip through the pages to solve your issues. And I think that's where Masters of Anatomy really shines. They aren't really books that are going to teach you step-by-step figure drawing, but help motivate and inspire you to finding your own way. I think that this is a very powerful method. It makes you practice and cultivate your own style rather than replicate other artists' steps and methods into finding a style that isn't uniquely your own. In short, I would definitely recommend this to the artist who likes to take pride in their book collection. Not exactly for someone looking for a step-by-step guide to drawing, but the more seasoned artist who likes to occasionally sit down with a book and just flip through looking for inspiration. For those interested, I will have links in the description down below to help you acquire your own book. In closure, I'd like to discuss reference material because I know that there is a negative association with referencing, and I hear all too often that you should never use reference books and that you should really rely more on practice. While there is some validity to that, I'd like to impart why this isn't 100% true. The ultimate goal for any artist is, of course, to be able to create straight from your head. Some say that that's what sets a professional apart, being able to create without referencing. And while it's true that using too much reference can hinder your growth as an artist, because let's face it, Google is pretty much infinite. Anything that we need to draw on a comic book page can be brought up in a quick Google image search. Using this too much will force you into a habitual state that's reliant on reference recreation. And in practicing this, you may develop a potency for reference drawing. What you will be lacking of is style. And style is the selling point of your artwork. The artists that you recognize just from viewing their works, it's not their skill that you recognize, it's their style that truly sets one artist apart from the next. And your style is curated through practice. What works, what doesn't work for you, how you think an eye should look, how it should be drawn as opposed to how so-and-so draws an eye. What is your interpretation of an eye? This is what the viewer of art gravitates to when they choose to look at art. They aren't looking for something that they can just look out their window and see. They want to see things that invokes their imagination. So when using reference material, it's important to remember that it is just that, reference material. Do not buy this book with the intent of taking it home, covering it in sticky notes, bookmarks for yourself that you can flip to this page and use this picture to draw your first frame, and then flip to the next page and have your pose ready to copy for your second frame, so on and so forth. That's really how you're going to hurt yourself, developing yourself as an artist. And that is how the negative association comes about with reference material. That's what makes it negative. And that's why you're going to hear the narrative that you should focus more on practice than purchasing these books to draw reference from. Now, on the flip side, if you open the book and you're looking at it truly for learning and inspiration, practice drawing the material inside so that you can learn the material, not just copy the material, then you're on your way to not abusing reference, and it can become a really powerful tool for you to learn and improve your own skills. It can become a way for you to self-learn. So that's just some things to keep in mind when you hear that about reference material, and whether you're choosing to stay away from it or not. The key is to use it for practice. If you're using it for practice, then you're using it appropriately. If you use it just to copy it, then you're really hindering yourself and you're not letting yourself grow. And that's when you should really stay away from it, because it is easy to get sucked into a pattern where you rely on reference material. I've done it several times, and sometimes it's really hard to just not get on Google and not search for that image that you can portray perfectly in the next shot, instead of opening your sketchbook, practicing and learning how to draw it and retaining that knowledge for future times when you need to draw it. Well, everybody, thanks for tuning in. This is Mr. J, looking to help motivate, inspire, and empower you to take your art to the next level. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for more art videos. Be sure to tune in next week as I review the Paperlike screen protector for iPad. Well, that's it for me, folks. Deuces.